The Luck of Roaring Camp by Bret Harte. There was excitement in Roaring Camp, a California mining camp, in the 19th century. It could not be a fight. In 1850, that wasn't news. Nobody paid any attention to fights. Even when French Pete and Kaneka Joe shot each other in the bar. In fact, two gamblers playing cards just continued their game. But now something different was happening. Cherokee Sal, the only woman in the camp, was giving birth to a child. Death was common in Roaring Camp, but birth was a new thing. The men sat around outside Sal's cabin, wondering what to do. Finally, Kentuck, one of the leaders in the camp, said, "You go in there, Stumpy. Go in there and see what you can do. You have experience in these things." The other men agreed. Stumpy was the head of two families before he came to Roaring Camp. The men pushed Stumpy into the cabin and closed the door. There were about 100 men in Roaring Camp. All of them were either hiding from the police or from their wives and children. But their faces did not reflect their past lives. The worst criminal had blonde hair and an angel's face. Another looked like a college professor. The bravest of the men was only 5 feet tall. He had a soft voice and was very shy. As the men waited, they made bets and hoped that everything would be okay. Most of the men said Sal would pull through. Some bet the child would live. There were other bets on whether the baby would be a boy or a girl. In the middle of their discussion, a sound came from the cabin. The men stopped to listen. It was the cry of a baby. Stumpy opened the door of the cabin. One by one, the men entered. Sal did not pull through, but her baby boy did. He lay sleeping in a little box, and beside the box was a hat. Gentlemen," Stumpy said, "please pass in at the front door, round the table, and out the back door. If you wish to contribute anything to the child, put it in the hat." The contributions were all different. There was a silver box, several guns, a diamond ring, a Bible, a lady's handkerchief, a silver teaspoon, a pair of scissors, some good luck charms, and $200 in coins. Only one thing happened as the men passed by. When Kentuck bent over to take a close look at the baby grabbed Kentuck's finger. As Kentuck took his finger away, he smiled. The next day, there was a funeral for Cherokee Sal. Then the men met to discuss what they should do with her baby. Everyone said the camp should adopt him and let Stumpy take care of him. A month later, there was another meeting to decide a name for the child. Someone said that the baby brought good luck to the camp because they were beginning to find gold. So the men suggested calling him Luck. Stumpy didn't want him to have only one name, so he added Tommy. The child was now Tommy Luck, but the men called him the Luck. Stumpy became his godfather. There was a complete change in Roaring Camp. The men cleaned and painted the child's cabin. Stumpy made new rules. No one was allowed to use such expressions as curse the luck, and loud talking wasn't allowed during the luck's sleeping hours. On long summer days, the luck was carried outdoors. He lay on a blanket under the trees while the men were digging for gold. They had a great deal of luck that summer. They found more gold. Roaring Camp became rich. For the rest of the summer, the men worked to improve the camp and themselves. They washed twice a day and they wore nice clothes. They grew flowers around their cabins. Then winter came. Snow was deep on every hillside. The mountain creek became a river, and every river became a lake. One night, rushing water broke the trees and swept over Roaring Camp. When morning came, Stumpy's cabin near the river was gone. A little further away, Stumpy's dead body was found. The pride, the joy, the hope of Roaring Camp disappeared. A few men who were fortunate to still be alive saw a boat coming down the river. A man and a baby were in the boat. The men could see Kentuck lying there, badly hurt. He was holding the Luck of Roaring Camp in his arms. Sadly, they could see that the baby was not alive. He is dead, one of them said. Kentuck opened his eyes. Dead, he repeated. And I am dying too. He smiled. Dying, he repeated. He's taking me with him. Tell the boys I've got the luck with me now. The strong man held the baby tightly. The man and baby drifted